pick'em game. It's a great, fun way to play along as you watch your favorite players from around the National Football League. In fact, you can hop on there and play tonight. The way it works, you pick higher or lower on 2 to 5 player stats and watch to see if your picks hit. It's that easy. And if you haven't tried Pick'em, it's the perfect time right now. With football season back, you've already drafted your fantasy teams. Let's celebrate Underdog announcing their newest special that'll be running all season long. It's called 100K Sundays. Every Sunday, they're going to be giving out $10,000 in cold hard cash to 10 different winners who play Pick'em. You can take your chance by playing along every Sunday. One entry equals one ticket, but you don't have to wait for Sunday. You got a doubleheader tonight, so put your picks in and maybe win a little bit of cash as you're watching football tonight. Maybe you'll be one of the winners with Underdog Fantasy. You must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. If you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ncpgambling.org.
Jaguars Today Monday on 1010XL
is brought to you by
Ratify Credit Union, your neighborhood credit union from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios. From Duval to the world,
everyone can hear.
Download the 1010XL and XL 92.5 FM apps for free on Apple and Android devices and listen wherever life takes you.
Did you know the 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid never needs to be plugged in? The onboard system charges the batteries for you. When you think Honda, think hybrid. Good for the environment, great for your budget. Visit your local Honda dealer to experience the CR-V of the future today.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about enjoying your life. So often we can go through life trying to make a living instead of making a life. Yes, it's good to be goal-oriented, but let me encourage you today that our days are numbered. We're not promised tomorrow, so go out and take time to be with your family. You'll always have your work, but you won't always have your family.
To hear more inspirational messages by Reverend Dr. Nicholas Lowe, please visit our website at stjohnthedivine.com.
Hey, bourbon lovers. Tim Pearson here, founder of Chattanooga Whiskey, the only Tennessee high malt. Now that it's football season, we have the perfect team lineup for you with our award-winning bourbons, Chattanooga 91, Cask 111, and 99 Rye, the trifecta for any game day tailgate. There's no better way to celebrate a win than with the world's best craft producer of the year, awarded by Whiskey Magazine. So get the W this weekend. Drink Chattanooga Whiskey, enjoy responsibly.
In your free time, the last thing you want to do is clean your house.
Right.
First Coast Home Pros offers luxurious maid services you can trust. Weekly, bi-weekly, or even one-time deep house cleaning. FirstCoastHomePros.com. FirstCoastHomePros.com.
1991, we played Boston College. Tommy Mack had like 15 tackles.
19.
Oh, I'm sorry,
That's
19.
okay,
Took 4
but
away
it was
from
19.
Tom McManus, Friday from 10 to noon on 1010XL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson. A better way to a better window.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Do you have a VA loan? In this housing market, homeowners with VA loans have access to a ton of instant cash. Hey, it's Prosser here. Do you need cash to pay off credit cards and other high-interest loans? Does a check for 80 or 90 grand sound about right now? Well, Loan Pronto is helping veterans every day get the money they need with a quick and easy zero-cost cash-out refi with zero closing costs. With a VA loan, it's really cool because you can access up to 100% of your home's value. Use that money to pay off credit cards, home equity lines, car loans, consolidate all your payments into one check per month, and close in 2 weeks. Most homeowners who do this end up cutting their overall monthly payments by $800. Loan Pronto's all-digital process makes it fast and easy. They're doing loans with super low APRs, and they love working with veterans. Call now to see what your options are. Call Loan Pronto at 999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Do you or someone you know suffer from Parkinson's or essential tremor? Is medication not enough? Dr. Elaine Keebaugh here from Boston Scientific. You are not alone and you have resources available. Come get help at a free dinner event to learn how to help manage your disease. Hear from Dr. Tipton of the Mayo Clinic speak on Thursday, September 28th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We'll be at the Aloft Tapestry Park Hotel. Visit LearnDBS.com to learn more. LearnDBS.com.
Legally Blonde is now at the Alhambra Theater for the first time ever, and the ladies from Helmets and Heels will be broadcasting at the Alhambra on Tuesday, October 10th from 6 to 8 p.m. So get the ladies together and get your tickets today at alhambrajacks.com. That's alhambrajacks.com.
Mike Dempsey here. As you all know, I decided to take control of my weight, and I called Awaken 180. Why? Because there's no BS, no gimmicks, no crash diets, no magic pills. You won't find me sweating it out at the gym every day either. Just 3 weeks with Awaken 180, I've shed over 17 pounds. I mean, my shorts are already falling off me. I'm down to a 36 waist, about to be wearing 34s, a size I haven't worn probably since high school. But here's the kicker. It's not just about losing weight. I'm learning along the way. My coach, Mandy, she is a rock star. She listens, gives me tips, and adjusts my program to keep things moving. And to back up their claim as the solution for weight loss, I'll receive free support for life after reaching my goal. So whether you've got 20 pounds or 30 pounds to drop like me, or maybe you have 50 or 100 pounds to lose, Awaken 180 is the choice to make. Call them at 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800. Or check them out online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
This is Dr. James Perry, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
I'm Sam Nelson. Jag QB Trevor Lawrence points to third down woes for the team's offensive concerns.
There's a lot of different things that are contributing to us not being good on third down. We're just not executing every position at different times.
Jag head coach Doug Peterson says too many blown opportunities resulted in loss to KC.
The opportunities were there, and we didn't do it. We got to look at this film and be hard and critical of ourselves and bounce back next week.
A University of North Florida poll released today shows Duval County residents are more willing to spend taxpayer dollars on renovating the city-owned football stadium if that's what it takes to keep the Jaguars playing in Jacksonville. That's your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguar update. I'm Sam Nelson on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
1010XL is presented by Farah Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Not just Monday, David Garrard Monday on 1010XL. Brought to you by your local Napa Auto Care Centers.
If the backwards pass would have put us back maybe in 4th and 15-ish, 4th and 14, yeah, I would have kicked it there. 4th and 12, you're taking a shot to the end zone anyway, so not a big deal.
That's Doug Peterson on the late game decision after the play was correctly ruled to be another backwards pass. That one skittered out of bounds, and the Jags lose ground. And if it was 4th and 15, yeah, maybe we'll kick the field goal. 4th and 12, no, we'll go for it. That one
weird.
Seemed like they were going to go for it regardless.
Yeah.
And I get it on the one hand, right? Like, we haven't had a lot of success driving down here, so we think, oh, yeah, we'll kick a field goal and we'll get a touchdown. We haven't had a touchdown all day. We're here, one shot, chance to tie it. If you kick the field goal and then Kansas City gets the ball and you never get the ball back and they kind of grind out the clock, you're going, why didn't you at least try it? You had the ball. You had a chance, right? So I get the inclination to do it, man. I think 4th and 12 is asking a lot when you've not converted much on 3rd or 4th down all day.
Yeah, that is asking a lot. And, I know the whole game we were struggling, but you still want to play the game as if, okay, my team can still drive down the field and get us a score. Because you just don't want to keep putting yourself behind the 8 ball. And that's what we were doing, and that's the problem when you're not executing in a day. Your coaches don't have faith in you. They're thinking we got to create some plays somewhere, some points somewhere, somehow at this point, and it doesn't feel right. And that's why I put it on the players every time.
All right, let's move along here. 641-1010 on the All-Pro Roofing phone lines. If you want to get in or hit us up on any of the social media or YouTube or whatever platforms you'd like to reply or ask a question on. We'll start with Marcus on the west side of this segment. Good morning, Marcus.
Hey, good morning, and thanks for taking my call. I saw some good, not much yesterday, but a lot of bad. I was just wanting to know from a quarterback, David, why were there so many passes towards the end zone looked like they were on the back line trying to toe tap everything, leaving no margin for error. And I'll take it off the air.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing, because Travis Kelce, I believe he had his catch in the end zone. He was kind of just sitting there waiting for the ball.
Yes, he was.
So I'm like, how can we not scheme up our guys like this too? But we had the opportunities. That first one, I think it was the first one where Zay Jones was snuck out the back. If he gets the ball up a little earlier and then down, not letting it float, it carries Zay Jones, to the back end line. That was one where we had an opportunity right there. There were a lot of opportunities, and like I said earlier, he just wasn't on his game. Trevor just wasn't on his game, especially when we got into the red zone. Because you get down there, we got down there so many times with the opportunity to score. Not saying there was a guy wide open and we missed him, but when you're down there and you have 3 or 4 tries, you got to be able to find somebody that can catch it and run in, somebody in the back line of the end zone, somebody on a fade on the side. Like there's opportunities, and it's not like we don't have players. Like we got dogs that can go there. Zay Jones can go down there and make a catch that nobody else can make because he did it in the first week, So we have those opportunities, but we were just off. And I don't know why. I don't want to say because the game was big. I mean, he's been in big games. He did have 4 turnovers last year in the playoffs, but came back in the second half. I was just waiting for that one drive that was going to get things rolling. And it never did. We never got that drive where we felt like, okay, we're clicking now. Here we go. And that's unfortunate.
Well, and then, defensively, we do think, obviously, you hold the Chiefs to 17 points. It's a good job. But there were mistakes on that side of the ball as well. I mean, look, as well as Andre Sisco has played in 2 games, you got a potential pick 6 staring you in the face.
Yeah.
Make the play.
Yeah.
Playmaker, ball hawk.
Yep.
Go hawk it.
Yep.
Right? I mean, I know you got the pick later. That's great.
Yeah.
Not as impactful.
Get 2 of them.
Get 2 of them.
Whitehead for the Bills got 3.
Put 7 on the board early, right?
Yeah.
And set the tone, and then you've got the field goal, and then you're up 10, and then maybe you do punt the ball away, and then maybe you do pin them deep, and then maybe you are up 13-0 at the half, and then when you come out in the second half, after Kansas City tried to run the ball once in the entire first half. I mean, Isaiah Pacheco had 1 carry in the first half. Came out and ripped off a 31-yarder to start the second half, and now all of a sudden, the whole I just felt like everything felt different for Kansas City. Like once they got that first touchdown, they breathed a sigh of relief. They came out, they popped a big run. They relaxed at that point.
Well, Kansas City got to play an entire game, David, where offensively they never took a snap where the game situation was stressful.
Yeah.
Never had to take one, right? And the offense wasn't very good. They turn it over 3 times. The penalties are all on that side of the ball, right? Like, all those things are going against the Chiefs. And despite that, because the Jaguars offense couldn't create any pressure on the other side, they never had to take a snap where it was like, we got to have a play now, right? Like there was never that moment in the game for the Chiefs offense. They're good enough that they took advantage of a couple of opportunities. That's all they needed, was taking advantage of a couple of kind of stressful situations, but not big-time NFL stress. The Jags couldn't create it because their offense didn't create opportunities for that stress.
The Chiefs basically said, you know what, we've already had 3 turnovers, so let's not put ourselves in harm's way. Yeah. Their offense is doing absolutely nothing, so let's just drive the ball, and if we get down there and they make us punt on our 40, that's okay.
Yeah.
Because they're doing absolutely nothing on their side of the ball.
Right. When they make a play, we'll make a play too.
We'll do just enough to make sure we still win this game.
Even with the decision to not punt the ball and Kansas City takes over at midfield, right, and you get the sacks, and now they're behind, right? They're 2nd and 17. They're 2nd and 22 after a penalty. You give up 8 on that play. Okay, fine. It's 3rd and 14. Tackle Noah Gray. He's out there doing some kind of ladder drill, just going high-stepping through everybody, and like he picks up 12 instead of maybe 6 or 7. And if it's 7, they're punting.
Yeah.
Right? And then because it's 4th and 7, they're probably punting it and not trying to give the Jags the ball at midfield. But instead, it's 4th and 2, and they're going to go for it at that point in time.
And, we can nitpick the defense and something like that, what they did, but we would have been okay if we felt like our offense was on top of their game. But they weren't.
Look, again, the defense, at the end of the day, held them to 17. Even if they could have scored another one at the end, they held them down below our expectation. I'm not much more the blame goes to the offense. I'm just pointing out that there are plenty of
to go around.
opportunities
Yep.
even when you're failing in one area. I'm sure the Chiefs were like, hey, man, we're not doing anything right here. And they found enough opportunities to put up just enough, and their defense played well enough to hold the Jags down, and that was it. You know,
just got to make the plays when the plays are there.
You got to walk away with a
what
dub.
they did.
Let's get Jay on the west side next up here on Jaguars Today. Good morning, Jay.
How's it going this morning, fellas?
Good. What's up?
I was just wondering, I was watching the game yesterday, and I watched when they put Trayvon Walker on the inside. I guess he was on a guard, and he was pushing the guard back into the quarterback's lap. And I was just wondering, why don't they use him more on the inside instead of defensive end?
Well, my first initial thought would be, then who the hell's playing defensive end for this team?
Jason.
Right? Right.
Yeah.
And grant he had a sack yesterday.
Yeah.
That's,
You gotta give
history
him-
will tell you
give
he
him his
won't have
kudos
another
for
one
that.
this
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
No, I mean, he's had one a year every year he's been in the league. I don't know.
I've also thought about that. I'm like, he is a bull rushing dude, and most guards aren't as good. And so his size seems like it would create a little bit more havoc in there, because if you're trying to throw the ball over him and he gets his hands up, he's already 2 feet taller than everybody over there. So give him those opportunities. I think as we see him do that stuff more, then we'll see him being on top of guards in some of those situations. But you're right. Who replaces him on at the end? And so that's where you struggle.
Right, and they have guys that they feel are good interior players. You know, that maybe Trayvon would provide a little bit more push in the pocket. Obviously, they're playing without Devon Hamilton, so who knows how it would look if they had him. But again, I'm not putting this on the defense, but Trayvon Walker had one tackle, 1 assist in the game.
Yeah.
And I get it. Patrick Mahomes is tough to get to, but
I didn't see him. I didn't see him back there.
I didn't see many flashes
moving him
from
around.
Trayvon Walker this week.
Walker and Josh Allen combined for 3 tackles and 1 quarterback hit.
Yeah.
Right? Like those two guys, I get it. Mahomes isn't the easiest guy to get to in the NFL, but if these are the guys that you're going to rely on heavily all season long, you need more than that week to week.
Well,
I don't care who you're playing.
On top of that, Tony, well, the pressure from Allen led to the interception. So that was good play.
It was good play.
I mean,
That's the QB hit.
Absolutely, right? But he's also in and out of the game now with a shoulder.
Right. Yeah.
So who knows what his ability is going to be against Houston this week.
And I think pointing out that the pressure with the hit is what led to the interception circles and marker how important it is for those two guys to make plays. Right? When Josh Allen made a play in that game yesterday, it turns into a pick for the defense. They have to have that. 3, 4, 5 times a game, they need one of those guys affecting the other quarterback. Josh Allen did it for a play yesterday. It turned into a big play for the defense. They have got to have that week to week.
Just because, Trayvon's a young guy and you want to see him flash, you want to see Josh Allen flash. So I'm watching him. When our defense is out there, I'm basically looking at them, looking at the quarterback to see who is providing some kind of pressure.
Yeah.
And there weren't very many times I saw one of them doing it, and like you said, when they did, good things happen. It's amazing how that works. If you pressure the quarterback. Did they pressure our quarterback some yesterday?
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
George Karlaftis was a first-round pick last year. He had a sack and a half yesterday. Had some good pressures as well against Detroit. Now, I didn't get any sacks in that game, but
pressure goes a long way. Sacks, they're great because that's like they get nothing out of it. But pressure, man, if you continue to get it on somebody, that's when you get in the quarterback's head and they start making errant plays and errant throws, and they start doing things like maybe keeping the ball when they shouldn't keep the ball and holding on to it a little longer. And all these kind of things happen when a quarterback thinks somebody is about to hit me on every play.
All right, we'll take a time out here if you want to get in. Still an hour to go on a Reaction Monday, looking back on the Jags' 17-9 defeat at the hands of the Kansas City Chiefs. David Garrard's here, Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, is your vehicle in need of a little tender, loving care? Well, if it is, you can bring it to the experts at Tire Outlet and know that they're going to take great care of you with over 40 years of experience, 14 locations around the First Coast. Tire Outlet is the brand you can trust, not only for tires, but they have certified technicians to do the job right, to get you in and out in no time flat when it comes to repairs and maintenance. Hurry in for great deals on tires and auto service with free tire rotations, free brake inspections, rebate offers on brand name tires, and yes, a legendary price match guarantee on every set of brand new tires. That's Tire Outlet, where you always get wholesale prices and premium service.
Jaguars Today Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Ratify Credit Union, your neighborhood credit union, from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios. Defending against an attack is a critical part of security. Turnover! And the defensive player of the game can help secure a victory.
Now we got to play D, boys.
After the game, catch the superior fence and rail defensive player of the game on 1010XL.
Hey guys, Hicken here. It's hot. The oven is on, and it ain't getting any cooler. Unless you stay cooler with Bueller. Bueller Air, still locally owned and still treating their growing customer base like they're part of the family. Go ahead and Google them yourself. Bueller Air, B-U-E-H-L-E-R. You won't find better rated air conditioning company in town. I use them, so I already know. Like I said, it's getting hotter than ever outside, so stay cooler with Bueller.
Bueller Air, stay cooler with Bueller.
The Money Pages brings you this week's Red Zone Featured Player of the Week. Number 32, Jaguars cornerback Tyson Campbell. Campbell played college ball for Georgia and was taken by the Jags in the second round of the 2021 draft. Pick up this week's Jags game program with a commemorative ticket of Tyson Campbell. Download the Money Pages app for weekly specials. Money Pages, official sponsor of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
When you head out for a night with friends or going to the big game, don't forget the best game plan to win the night is to designate a driver and guarantee a safe ride home. Hydrating between buds is the best play you can make. Bud Light, reminding all to drink wiser.
Universal Roof and Contracting presents the Offensive Player of the Game. Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
Christian Kirk had a stellar performance for Jacksonville. The 26-year-old wideout recorded 11 receptions for 110 yards on 14 targets in the contest. Kirk must have had his shades on coming into this game because he was such a bright spot for the Jags in their offensive attack. Christian Kirk is your Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game.
Make sure your home is protected this hurricane season by scheduling a complimentary roof inspection with Universal Roof and Contracting. And right now, get 10% off roof replacement and repairs. The first 50 callers will save an additional $500 on a full roof replacement. And this offer expires September 30th, and restrictions apply. Universal Roof and Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 1330747, CVC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
New and pre-owned firearms are always in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimbar, Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacks Beach.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. Sportsforecaster. At sportsforecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. Sportsforecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
The season is in full swing, and the Jaguars aren't slowing down.
That's a pick six! Touchdown, Jacksonville!
Get down to Everbank Stadium for a classic AFC South showdown when your Jacksonville Jaguars go head-to-head with division rival, the Houston Texans. Tickets are still available for this matchup September 24th, but not for long. Get your seats now by calling 904-633-2000 or visit us online at jaguars.com/tickets.
Are you looking for increased privacy and protection for your family and pets? Look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Superior Fence and Rail is Jacksonville's top-rated fence company, delivering the highest quality fence products. They'll treat your property as if it's their own. So get off the fence and get your privacy back. Call Superior Fence and Rail today for your on-site estimates.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hey, it's Tony from Tony D's Pizza. If you love our pizza and pasta dishes, let us cater an event for you. Family function or office parties, we can deliver you an amazing Italian meal. Remember, it's not just pizza at Tony D's. Bay Meadows and $2.95.
Honey, are you using the hot water?
No.
The water's cold again. How can we fix it? Did you just quack like a duck?
Yep. Duck Rooter, your plumbing pros in Northeast Florida. For water heater installation and service, including tankless water heaters, gas or electric, call for a quote today.
When you're stuck, call the duck. 904-862-6769.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update, sponsored by Andy's Automotives. Gator running back Trevor Etienne had a big game Saturday night against Tennessee, running and catching the ball.
Like we said, you want to be a every play back, so you have to be able to catch the ball, and that's just something we work on daily.
Florida Gators received plenty of votes from the Associated Press after their upset over the Tennessee Volunteers at home. Florida cracked the list of top teams in the nation and landed at number 25 in the AP poll. The Gators played well on both sides of the football on their way to the 29-16 victory. Florida football not only scored a big win on the field against the Tennessee Volunteers, but it also hauled in a blue chip commitment for the 2025 recruiting class when four-star running back Waltez Clark out of Tampa gave the Gators his word after the clock expired in the Swamp on Saturday night. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
At 11:04, it's 80 degrees. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. He's our QB. It's a David Garrard Monday on 1010XL. Brought to you by your local Napa Auto Care Centers.
Two good teams went to battle. But we feel like we left a lot out there today as a unit, as an offensive unit. We got to be better. But two good teams. You know, they're the top of they're Super Bowl champs. Pretty much the same team we saw last year. And you know, we should have had them today.
That's tight end Evan Ingram. You could hear the theme of that. We left a lot out there today. You know, I think the Jags said it last year. Quite frequently, when they started off poorly, we're beating ourselves. It's about us. It's correctable. We'd heard it so often from so many head coaches in recent years that you're just like, it just washes right over you. Like, enough already with this. If it's so correctable, then correct it. It's so easy to correct. And, okay, yes, I'm saying there are things they could have executed better on yesterday, but there are things the Chiefs could have executed better on yesterday as well. Don't act like they played this great game and barely beat you. They played mediocre at best and beat you, and in the end, really weren't all that threatened by you, quite frankly, because even if you score that touchdown late, you still got to get the two-point conversion, and you still got to stop them, and you didn't. They would have been down in field goal position to win the game. So, I mean, I get it to one degree, Dave, and they had to believe that, and they did believe that last year because they started making those plays, but you can't wait around now. This is not a team that just is trying to go 9-8 and backdoor into a division title. This is a team with championship aspirations. You got to start playing like it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think maybe now that we look at the first game, we're thinking, okay, maybe is there something going on with our offense? Is there something that we need to be concerned about? So, because clearly there is something going on, and I'm sure they'll work the kinks out, and it's the second game of the season and all that kind of stuff. But even with it being the second game of the season, our offense shouldn't look this poorly. Like, they shouldn't be beating themselves. They should be able to throw the ball in the end zone and catch it and get their feet in and all these different kind of things. So,
you put that more on the receivers or just on?
No, because I think, like I said, I put it on both because there's opportunities where some guys could have made some plays and done better. But for the quarterback, when you're throwing the ball into the end zone, you got to give them an opportunity where they can make the catch and come down and bounds, and a lot of times that wasn't happening.
I didn't think it was like easy stuff that they were just like, didn't
there
get
was
the
no
foot
Travis
down. Right.
Kelce wide open touchdown to a guy.
Certainly
just
not
there,
that, but
you know?
even like some toe drags are easier than others, right?
Yes.
Like these would have been, you need an extra 6 inches of leg.
These were
down.
The ball was floating too far
Yeah.
on them, so that goes on to the quarterback.
Question for you on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. When your offensive line is struggling to protect the pass, would it benefit you to take all those weapons, spread them out, and keep the quarterback in the shotgun? I feel like I saw way too many long dropbacks and play-action passes where Lawrence was turning his back to the pass rush.
Well, there was a perfect one, and I don't remember exactly when it was, but he had a great play action. I think he turned around and had Calvin Ridley running a slant, and he just missed him.
Yeah.
Missed him. I mean, there were probably 2 or 3 passes to Ridley that I saw where I'm like, or another receiver where they're just open and he just missed them. It was just a little too far behind. It was too low, but they were like open. Nobody was even on them. I mean, you had some with the receivers. Kirk, you got a pass that right in the middle of the field. There's a defender, but he's nowhere near you. You jump up to catch the ball, hit you
right
in the
numbers.
chest.
Yeah.
And you just straight drop it.
Got to have it.
Those are the plays that we're saying that's not where this offense should be. The plays that they should make, they should be making. They shouldn't be missing throws and missing catches and toe tapping 3 feet out of bounds.
All right, from Christian Kirk, he was asked yesterday, what is it going to take for this team to be able to score more consistently on red zone opportunities?
Execution. It was hot. It was a long game. But we can't fall back on that. We're going to have another opportunity next week where it's going to be hot and we're going to have a divisional opponent, and so we need to be better. I think it's all pre-snap of just locking into what your job is and doing that at the highest level. And no matter how tired, how hurt you are, you got to do it. And so that's what we're going to definitely focus on is just selling out on each and every individual play.
That's a very frustrating answer to me.
Yeah.
Like, okay, granted, it's not easy to be out there. It was tough for folks to sit in the stands. I keep having people text us saying, no, yeah, absolutely one of the top 3 hottest games I've ever experienced. But it was hot and it was a long game? What?
No.
You play in North Florida. It's going to be hot.
We want it to be hot.
And they're all 3 hours. I mean, what are we talking about here? It's hot and it's
never
a long game, and that's the first thing coming out of his mouth on that?
Should never come out of any
Come
player's
on,
mouth.
man.
No.
And then he said that's no excuse. Then why say it?
Yeah.
I don't.
You just wanted to put that caveat out there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get it. It's hot, man. So you're saying the heat caused you to lose concentration on 3rd and 10?
You got a team that flew in from the Midwest that has to play in this heat. You want it to be hot because they're going to be dying out there, but we look like the team that was traveling from up north somewhere from Canada.
I agree.
And in a game that was never more than a 1-score game, basically throughout the entirety of the game. We had the question about play action a moment ago. I don't know how you even run play action effectively if you're willing to run the ball 13 times in a 1-score game the whole time. Like, they got nothing to respect.
Who's going to believe it?
Right. Like, all those kind of things is like, maybe they do run play action here. Hit him. Right? Like, that's the idea, I would think, for the Chiefs the whole time. It's like, maybe if they would show us they're willing to run in some of these situations, that changes something. But they had 13 rushing attempts from their backs in yesterday's game, in a game that was never more than 1 score.
Yeah.
They had a lot of manageable situations where they could have run the ball more. It's just it felt like they went way too far away from it way too often.
But you know what, Tony? In the end of the day, Mahomes threw it 41 times. Trevor threw it 41 times.
Yes, he did.
Isaiah Pacheco ran it 12 times. ETN ran it 12 times.
Yeah.
They just made more plays.
Yeah.
They did.
Right? And I get it. It's Patrick Mahomes. Okay, but Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be on the come.
Yeah.
And, okay, you got Kelsey, a hobbled Kelsey. We got Ridley and Kirk and Zay and Ingram and all these guys.
We don't have any excuses to say we can't match up with anybody.
Well, they made more plays with fewer opportunities to make them than the Jaguars had opportunities. They get that fumble down inside the 10-yard line. Nothing. Right? They get the ball down to the 1-yard line. Nothing. Right? Like it happened over and over in the game. There were opportunities for the Jags to score 30. Honestly, in that game yesterday,
Absolutely.
They scored 9.
I mean, Kelsey and Mahomes are the ones that scare you. We've got a number of guys that can scare you.
And Kelsey didn't scare him yesterday.
And he didn't because he
it wasn't that he
wasn't
did anything
hobbling.
spectacular on the touchdown. He just kind of ran there.
He ran up, turned around,
as which
defender slipped.
How does right? But so it wasn't like he was out there breaking defenders' ankles all day.
Not at all.
You know,
there was guys that were beating us that you're like, oh, who was that guy again?
All right, let's take a pause. Yeah, that one to Justin Watson down the field was a killer too. That big play down the field, 34-yarder. All right, we'll get back to your calls, 641-1010 on the other side, so hang in there. We'll go around the league as well. More from the Jags post-mortem on a very disappointing 17-9 performance where they come up short against Kansas City in the season home opener. This is Jaguars Today on a Reaction Monday on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. You've heard me talk a lot about them recently. Look, I'm 4 weeks in. I'm almost to my goal weight already, and I'm, my waist size is about what it was in high school right now. I know that may be hard to believe, but I've lost a bunch of weight. But the key with Awaken 180 is the promise of keeping it off with free lifetime maintenance. That's right. Once you get to your goal weight, you can achieve keeping it at that weight with Awaken 180. They've got a great staff. They'll assign you a personal coach. They'll work with you. And you know what? Here's the trick. I'm eating to lose weight. I'm not on some crash diet. I'm not starving myself. I'm not on some low-calorie deal. I'm just eating more frequently. I'm eating the right foods, and it's really helping the pounds come off. If you're in a position where you want to drop 10, 20, 50, 100 pounds, Awaken 180 Weight Loss can help. They're the long-term solution for weight loss. So why don't you pick up the phone and call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Jaguars Today Monday
on 1010XL
is brought to you by Ratify Credit Union, your neighborhood credit union from the JOI Studios. What do you get when you take football, add football, and even more football?
Abundanza!
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Rehabilitation Football Friday night. Friday from 3 till 7 on 1010XL.
This is Hayes Carline for SkyLife Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at SkyLife Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. SkyLife Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332, go to flyskylife.com, and find them on social media. Fly SkyLife Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
It's storm season, and JEA is committed to keeping you informed. In the event of a storm, we'll text and email you about the status of your services. We use Facebook and Twitter to post real-time updates. Our live outage map on JEA.com lets you track restoration progress. And as crews work to restore services, our storm outreach team will be in local neighborhoods to answer your questions. Because as your community-owned utility, JEA is here to keep you safe and connected. Your community, your utility.
If you're looking for exterior solutions that provide you reliability and durability, it's time to call Armor Guard Exteriors. Whether you need seamless gutters or gutter protection, hurricane products, impact windows, glass lanais, or retractable awnings and screens, we've got you covered. Call My Home Team today for your 5-star experience at 904-906-8669.
Armor Guard Exteriors, committed to quality, and that's a promise.
This is Hayes Carline here to help you break free from the chains of pest infestation. The talk of this town is Kingfish Pest Control. By now, many of your neighbors have already joined the Kingfish Revolution, leaving their homes and lawns protected and pest-free. Now it's your turn. Call Kingfish Pest Control and say goodbye to termites, ants, mosquitoes, and other annoying pests. Trust me, you'll get exceptional service and understand why your neighbors and I use Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
Why can't I just speak to an actual human being? I need a new bank.
Well, actually, at One-to-One Financial, communication is not only number one, it's one-to-one. When you call, you get to talk to a real live Jacksonville human, fast, and with someone who's truly concerned about your needs, your security, and finding solutions as a team.
Thank you.
Ready to break up with your bank? Find a real, long-term banking relationship at One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit one-to-onefcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA. This is Hayes Carline for Island Wing Company, located on Southside near Tinseltown, and our new location at Bartram Park in St. Johns County. Two great locations offering the ultimate sports bar experience where you can stick to healthy options. Island Wing Company has a wide selection of fryer-free food. The wings are baked, not fried, with so many awesome flavors to choose from. You can also get delicious salmon, tuna, flatbreads, and tacos. With tons of spectacular TVs, dog-friendly patios, and 2 daily happy hours, Island Wings can't be beat.
He used to cover the Jags. Now he's a CBS Sports senior NFL writer.
Well, I believe you got everybody's attention.
He's Pete Prisco. Friday afternoons on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Ackerman Urology's new Beaches location is now open, conveniently located on Atlantic Boulevard near Hodges. Visit the experts at Ackerman for all your prostate and urological concerns. AckermanUrology.com.
This is Hayes Carline for Spicklemeyer Insurance Agency. I was paying too much for car insurance, paying for things I didn't need. My friend John Spicklemeyer fixed all that for me with impeccable customer service. For all your car insurance needs, call John at 471-7155.
Did you know that many cooling companies are now part of big conglomerates with no connection to Northeast Florida? In the past, they have concentrated on heating and air conditioning, but after a buyout, many add plumbing and electrical services. This raises their overhead, and those costs are passed on to the consumer. It's a case where bigger isn't better, it's just more expensive. Not Mike Merritt's Heating and Air. Mike Merritt remains family-owned and operated. Merritt's focus has been the same for more than 30 years, keeping Northeast Florida comfortable, no matter what the weather. And there are no overtime or weekend surcharges. Mike Merritt's team does not work on commission. They repair only what needs repair and offer replacements only on what can't be fixed. And unlike at giant corporations where you can feel like just another number, with Mike Merritt, you'll feel like number one. Florida license CACO 50384.
XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. He's still throwing passes. It's a David Garrard Monday on 1010XL. Brought to you by your local Napa Auto Care Centers.
All right, this one on Twitter, or the platform formerly known as, from Sean, said, please compare Aiden Hutchinson in Week 1 versus Mahomes to Trayvon Walker's performance yesterday. Perfect scenario. Compare the two since their performances were in back-to-back weeks. I will say the first Aiden Hutchinson tweet I saw this morning was, Kayvon Chason has more sacks than All-Pro Aiden Hutchinson. You know, because anytime you bring up Aiden Hutchinson, you're being mean to Trayvon Walker's season. Okay, that's how the feeling is. But just looking at the game logs and looking back, my recollection is Hutchinson created a lot of pressure in that game.
He popped a whole lot more.
He did, right? Yesterday, Trayvon Walker played 56 snaps against Kansas City, had one solo tackle, one assisted tackle. One of those tackles was behind the line of scrimmage, so he had a tackle for a loss, but it had a solo and assist.
Mm-hmm.
Did not have a quarterback hit in the game. 56 snaps. Aiden Hutchinson played 59 snaps, so very comparable. He had 3 solos and an assist, 3 quarterback hits.
Yeah.
So that's telling me he created a lot more pressure. I mean, he hit Mahomes 3 times, and how many times did he get close and not hit him?
Yeah.
You know?
He just seems to be way more active.
Now, yesterday he did nothing against Seattle, so
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. I didn't watch the game.
So when if you go off of what he was just saying in both Kansas City games that these two teams played, he just seems to be more active in these two games that I've seen. And I think just overall, like he's got that, I'm going to go until the whistle is blown and I've put my shoulder pads on somebody.
Granted, Trayvon did draw a penalty on Jawan Taylor.
He did.
Who didn't?
Yep.
At one point, I mean, that guy, that would be the story. If we were in Kansas City today, we'd be like, we spent $80 million on what? Guy got 5 penalties?
Yeah.
I did not even notice that.
5.
He had
Wow.
5. And there was a series at one point in the game, Dave, they pulled him out.
Wow.
They pulled him out for the last couple
Did not
plays
realize
of a
that.
series. And when it happened, the next series, he's right back on the field playing right tackle for him again. But he had a couple penalties on one series, and Andy Reid pulled him off the field.
Did he have any false starts?
Well, he had false starts, but he also had just lining up improperly.
Yeah,
Because
it
remember,
was-
the
so
NFL was
everything
alerted to
that
it.
we
Everything
were
that
talking
was
about.
talked about
But he also
came
had
up
holding.
yesterday.
He had a bunch of
Right.
stuff.
And
It was a rough game for him.
It points to how good of a coach Andy Reid is. I think that all that's going on, it's Jawan coming back to Jacksonville, like all this stuff, it's all swirling around him in these moments where he's had a couple on this series, and they say, get him off, right? Get him off. Let him relax for a second here. Like watching when it was happening, I'm like, he's not benched.
Yeah.
They want him to get his head back on straight. And he came back out for the next series. It didn't happen a bunch for the rest of the game, but it was all this kind of tidal wave of things were going on. And I'm watching it happen. I'm like, man, Andy Reid is good at this.
Yeah.
You know, like just that the coach has that good a feel for what's going on the field with his team it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, because sometimes you can be in your own head.
Yeah.
And especially when it's like a tidal wave of things and you're trying your best to like not make it happen, but you're actually making it worse. And so your coach is like, look, come sit down here, stay here beside me, and then get ready to go back in.
Yeah.
He had 2 false starts, an illegal formation, and then he got 2 holding penalties within 3 plays.
Yep. Wow.
And that's when Reed's like,
Yeah.
get him out.
Yeah.
Get him out right now. That went down as well. All right, Terrence, our man in Georgia, I'm sure is thrilled about everything that went down yesterday. Terrence, good morning. How are you?
Mike, I'm so upset. It's just ridiculous. I'm trying to lighten up the mood. And I had to call in because my second favorite Jaguar player is in studio. I hadn't talked to him in a while. And then listening to Christian Kirk on that interview, there's 2 reasons why they lost this game. 1, they didn't filter their water. And 2, they were up watching that Colorado game all night. I mean, everybody was up watching that Colorado game.
You're right.
And
I was.
was.
Yeah, I watched it.
Right.
I watched it. Don't be the filter, Terrence. Don't be
Don't be the filter. All right, guys.
All right, Terrence. We love you, brother. I love Terrence. What can you say?
To use the heat as an excuse and say it's not an excuse.
I don't want to dwell on it because, honestly, Christian Kirk, we named him player of the game. You had to pick somebody yesterday.
Yeah.
The guy was as productive as anyone out there, right? It felt like it should have been somebody on the defense. I didn't think there was that one individual standout guy, head and shoulders. Maybe Cisco would have been the guy, but had he got the other one, you know what I mean? Like, so he had it doesn't get counted as a, quote, drop. And it was a more high-degree difficulty catch to make than Christian Kirk hitting him in the chest, but you got to make the play.
You do. We
Both
needed
of
it.
them need to make
That's
the play.
where the good teams, they make those plays, and we're still trying to find our way. But offensively, you got to just think they're going to turn it around. They're going to get things back on track. We're going to have the offense that we felt like we were coming into the season with. And it's coming, but you just –
I hope so.
I know.
Needs to get here quick.
Super quick.
Houston's coming in here thinking they're going to win a football game. I guarantee you. I mean, that team's
They should be thinking that.
Yes. Yes. So, and I'm not – I've seen people this morning, as long as we whack Houston, as long as we handle our business, just win.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
We don't need
Just
to whack
win and
them.
don't get any major injuries.
17-9.
17-9 sounds
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
to me right now. Be 2-0 in the division, and this one still stinks.
Yeah.
And it doesn't erase this one, but you can't compound it by not beating teams that you're definitely better than. I don't think they're definitely better than Kansas City. They're clearly not definitely better than Kansas City, And there are other teams on the schedule that they're not definitely better than. doesn't mean they can't beat those teams. Doesn't mean they can't show to be better than them. But you don't look at San Fran and go, oh, yeah, Jags absolutely. Got them covered. Buffalo, definitely. Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati's playing poorly right now, but who knows what they'll be playing like in December when they come here.
Yeah.
And we know they're talented. But
and the pass rush ought to heat up this week. Right, C.J. Stroud has been running for his life through the first couple weeks.
Throwing it a ton.
Now, he threw it 47 times yesterday. That's with him getting sacked 6 times in that game against Indianapolis. He also threw for 384 yards.
Right, but if we come out of that game, Tone, and he throws for 340 and we only sack him twice, that's not good news.
How many picks did he have?
He had no picks.
You want that young quarterback to be throwing that ball to the wrong team.
Yes, you do. Well, we got that chance coming up, and we'll get to that as the week plays out. Right now, let's get to the rest of the National Football League. Tony Smith taking on a tour of the NFL.
Now, gems around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Cincinnati quarterback Joe Burrow aggravated the calf injury that kept him out through training camp in the entire preseason during the fourth quarter of their loss against Baltimore yesterday. Burrow said after the game that the calf was sore, but that the next few days would be more telling regarding how he feels going into Week 3. The Bengals play the LA Rams on Monday Night Football next week. New York Giants running back Saquon Barkley will be undergoing an MRI today to determine the extent of an ankle injury he suffered on the final drive of the Giants' win over the Cardinals yesterday. Initial reports indicate that it's likely not a high ankle sprain. The Giants have a short week as they play San Francisco this week on Thursday Night Football. Detroit head coach Dan Campbell said that it looked like a thigh bruise for running back David Montgomery, who was carted off the field yesterday. Montgomery himself said it's probably going to be a couple weeks for him to get back on the field. Detroit defensive end Justin Houston will miss 6 to 8 weeks with a fractured ankle. Green Bay offensive lineman Elton Jenkins will have an MRI today to determine the extent of a knee injury that he suffered. Initial reports indicate that it's an MCL sprain. Baltimore wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. left during the second half of their win over Cincinnati yesterday, was unable to return. Head coach John Harbaugh said after the game that it doesn't look to be anything serious. And LA Rams running back Cam Akers was inactive due to a coach's decision, according to head coach Sean McVay after the game yesterday.
All right, thank you, Tone. A few here on the text line. I think this is in reference to Christian Kirk probably. He's not wrong. It was too hot. Not for Kansas City. Somebody won, right?
Yeah.
Somebody won the game.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody.
It was hot. We live in Florida.
Yeah, it's hot. And it's going to be hot. And it's the same guy who I'm looking at some earlier texts from today talking about how there were too many Chiefs fans, and he described it. These poors keep selling their seats. I paid $8,700 for 3 club tickets and sat in the stands for 85% of the game. I almost died. But nobody feels sorry for you if you got $8,700 to spend on 3 tickets to the game, and you had the option to sit inside. So, and describing people as these poors, I mean, sorry, King George. I mean,
the stadium was packed.
Yeah, there were so many Chiefs fans in the lower bowl where they sold out their allotment of season tickets this year. It looked to me like Jaguars season ticket holders were selling the Chiefs tickets to make the money back on what they spent. Right? Like they can get some money.
That's what he's talking about.
Right.
Like,
I don't blame people for doing whatever they want to with their money.
It's your tickets. But, I mean, look, at the end, you want to create a great home field advantage. You
show up.
You go.
Usually there's more visiting fans than we have almost here. There were plenty of Jaguar fans in that stadium.
I'm sure there were. Like, and I'm more reacting to another person basically like, how dare you?
No,
I mean, look.
It'll look different against the Bengals, and it'll look different against the Ravens.
People want to travel to Florida to watch football games.
Fan bases that typically don't travel as well as Chiefs fans
they're gonna come here.
Right, like anybody who lives in the Southeast that's a Chiefs fan was in town yesterday.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Like that kind of thing happens with teams
They're
that are
waiting
succeeding.
for their team to come here so they can come out and support them.
We should celebrate Chase on getting his annual sack. Hey, look, I hope he gets more than that. I did find it a little amusing that when he got hold of Mahomes, he didn't exactly he kind of struggled to get him down there. Yeah. Like, oh, look at this little guy.
Mahomes is a big guy.
What do I do with him now? No,
not
that.
Not even close.
But no, look, good for Caleb for getting the sack, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
We ride him, and or for his lack of productivity in that department. And again, you can talk about, this guy didn't draft himself, but
we're going to talk about whoever's out there.
Whoever gets that's kind of the nature of sports. You get drafted in the first round, a lot's going to be expected of you. And guess what? You get a lot of money that if you do not perform well, you're still getting a nice chunk of money that a lot of people will never see in their lifetime.
And you can get a little criticism.
I don't feel sorry for that at all. Was sitting by a Jags and Chiefs fans from Canada. All right. I'm sure, look, again, I don't get into critiquing the crowd. Do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's really up to you. I thought it was plenty loud out there yesterday from what I could tell. And,
it was.
The atmosphere was great, and I don't think anybody would be complaining about anything if the offense had just
give us something to get excited about.
And I don't think that had anything to do with any Chiefs fans yelling anything at any point in time at Trevor Lawrence and the offense.
Nope.
So, all right, we'll come back with some more thoughts, not final, because we got a whole week of this. Unfortunately, not for Dave. He's the lucky guy around these parts. But we'll read through some of your comments that you send in this morning on the question of the day, just asking for your reaction to the Jags falling 17-9 to Kansas City. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for Underdog Fantasy and their Pick'em game. So easy to way, super fun way that you can watch your favorite players, have some fun watching the game. No matter what the outcome of the game is, maybe you're going to win a little cash. The way it works, you pick higher or lower on 2 to 5 player stats. It's up to you. Then you watch and see if your picks hit. It's that easy. And if you haven't tried Pick'em, it's the perfect time now. Football season's back. You got a Monday doubleheader tonight. And to celebrate, Underdog has just announced their newest special that's running all season long, 100K Sundays. Every Sunday, they're going to be giving out $10,000 in cold hard cash to 10 different winners who play Pick'em. That's all you got to do. You can take your chance by playing along every Sunday. One entry equals one ticket. Will one of yours be the winners? The only way you can find out is to play. So make your picks throughout the football season and maybe win some real money from Underdog. And by the way, on that Sunday 100K giveaway, they're giving away $2 million throughout the course of the season on that. You must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ncpgambling.org.
Jaguars Today Monday
on 1010XL
is brought to you by Ratify Credit Union, your neighborhood credit union.
From the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Studios.
JOI, where the pros go. He straps on his helmet and steps into the danger zone.
You've got a pair of bogeys, 12 o'clock.
Go behind enemy lines with Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline.
Roger, that's your bogey.
On 1010XL, brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
You dream it, we build it. CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Gather the family when it's time to retire. Enjoy the warmth of a cozy fire. Now we're cooking in the great outdoors. That's what outdoor kitchens are for. You dream it, we build it. CSS.
You may have investments, but what do you really own? If the markets are volatile, you're inherently more comfortable if you know what you own and why. At Otterson Wealth Advisors of Raymond James, we provide clarity so you know exactly what your investments are. You'll have a custom portfolio, no boxing you into a plan, no algorithms. When markets move, you work with us to help maximize your plan. Let us help you genuinely take care of your investments. Otterson Wealth Advisors, your goals, our expertise. Raymond James Associates, Inc., member New York Stock Exchange, SIPC.
Toilet or shower not draining? Water bill high? So many issues you want to cry? Call Mr. Rooter of Jacksonville. Have your number 2 business serviced by your number 1 plumber. Let us do your dirty work. Call us today.
Mr. Rooter.
Weekends were made for sports, and I'll tell you my take on this weekend's best options. Pick it here. Watch for Weekend with Dan on YouTube and Facebook. Weekend with Dan is brought to you by Stone Core. We do outdoors better.
Post Game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
There's something special about Napa Auto Care Centers. They're backed by the national power of Napa and a 24-month, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty. But more importantly, your Napa Auto Care Center is locally owned and operated by a strict written code of ethics. Put your vehicle in the hands of ASE-certified technicians you can trust. Find us at jacksnapaautocare.group.com. David Garrard Mondays on Jaguars Today are brought to you by JJ Auto and Clay County Transmission.
Do you or someone you know suffer from Parkinson's or essential tremor? Is medication not enough? Dr. Elaine Keebaugh here from Boston Scientific. You are not alone and you have resources available. Come get help at a free dinner event to learn how to help manage your disease. Hear from Dr. Tipton of the Mayo Clinic speak on Thursday, September 28th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. We'll be at the Aloft Tapestry Park Hotel. Visit LearnDBS.com to learn more. LearnDBS.com.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is now offering online scheduling for new patient appointments for all of their physicians. Simply schedule your appointment on your cell phone, tablet, or desktop. JOI is the first orthopedic practice in North Florida to offer this feature to patients. To schedule your appointment online, visit joi.net and click on the button at the top of the page. If you'll be using insurance, be sure and have your information handy. JOI, where the pros go.
Fall is approaching, and that means another great event at Tobacco Cove. Come and enjoy a great cigar and support a worthy cause at the same time. The Oliva Helping Hands Charitable Foundation cigar is being featured to raise funds for the Oliva Escuela Elemental, a Montessori-style school and daycare for the children of Nicaragua. Join us at Tobacco Cove Saturday from 1 to 4 for food, prizes, and great deals. Enjoy the best that Oliva has to offer and help some kids in the process.
Summertime is here, and it's time to cast those worries out. And Royal is here to help you do that with our Summer Termite Special featuring Centricon. Starting at just $249. That's right, I said $249, and that's installed.
Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Need cash? Beaches Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all. Selling or pawning, get cash on the spot at Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
This is Dr. James Perry, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars offense came up empty in the red zone on Sunday against the Chiefs.
This is the team that beat us in the playoffs last year, and you kind of have that fresh in your mind all offseason. And schedule comes out, you get week 2, got Kansas City, and obviously took care of business week 1, and then we get our shot here at home and lay an egg offensively. It's pretty frustrating. You know, we're better than that, and we're a better team, we're a better offense than that, and I think that's what's disappointing is when you know what you're capable of, and the guys that we have, whether it's up front, you know, myself, the running backs, receivers, like we got, you know, so many weapons. Like we got to be able to put points on the board and score, and it's kind of embarrassing.
Trevor Lawrence in the postgame, courtesy of Jaguars.com. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Not just Monday, David Garrard Monday on 1010XL. Brought to you by your local Napa Auto Care Centers.
Yeah, that crazy story with Sergio Brown, man. Former Jaguar safety. They found his mom deceased, victim of an assault at the age of 73. Authorities cannot find Sergio Brown at this point in time. So you worry if he's okay.
Yeah.
B, me personally, I wonder why is he missing?
Whoa, what's happening?
You know, I hope he's not involved.
Yeah.
I have no idea. You know, nobody knows right
It's
now.
sad.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
Regardless, 73-year-old woman lost her life. But I'm going to hope that Sergio is not entangled in this in a negative way and that he was just camping in the woods or something. I don't know. I have no idea. But just passing that one along to you out there. All right, the Chattanooga real estate question of the day is out there, just asking for your reaction. We got Bill on the line, so we'll get him here on the phones, and then we'll run through some of this Twitter reaction as well. Bill, you're on Jaguars Today. Go ahead, please.
Hey, guys. My son played the high school ball. Kerwin Bell was his head coach, and also in college. And by the way, they did win the state championship one year. You probably remember John Brantley at quarterback there at Trinity Catholic. He said something to the team that I think is exactly on the dime for the Jaguars. He looked at them and he told them, "We are who we are. We just need to do what we do better." I don't think the Jaguars are Kansas City. They don't do a bag of tricks, and they don't practice a bag of tricks. Same thing with San Francisco. San Francisco's defense is probably one of the best you ever laid eyes on. Complicated, but yet very effective. We don't do that. So we need to do what we do, and we need to do it well. That's my comment.
All right, appreciate it. What do they do? So that's the thing. Here's the thing the offense needs to do well, score points.
Yes.
That's all you need to do. Doesn't matter how you score them. Score points. Defense needs to keep the other team from scoring points, right? And granted, there are circumstances that impact. I know I'm making that oversimplified.
Yeah.
But, like, what is this defense's calling card? I mean, it's played well. Don't get me wrong.
I was
going
to
to
say,
well.
yeah, they played well.
They
But what are
forced
they?
turnovers.
Okay.
I think that's their calling
Maybe
card
it
at this
is.
point is
Yeah.
they forced turnovers. They've done it the back half of last season through preseason, the first couple of weeks of this season. They get the ball out of the opponent's
That's
hand.
a tough thing to count on.
Yes, it
right?
is.
I mean, it really is in any given game. They gave up 400 yards yesterday, right? But they look.
They normally stop the run.
Normally, you're right.
They did yesterday too. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They
Pacheco
had that
didn't
one. They
try.
had the one, yeah.
Pacheco averaged almost 6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
So they just didn't try to run the ball.
Yeah, they did
Until the second half, and then they ran it very effectively on the Jags. I mean, the first carry of the second half went for 31 yards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it, but to say they don't practice all these tricks, we don't know. You don't know what they're practicing.
Well, they practice Kirk throw it back to.
They must have practiced that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they practice it. They practice going 4 wide all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, and so we're talking about, all right, one trick play that if it works, everybody loves it. Oh, how creative it is. Like that play didn't work.
Yeah.
And I bet they rep it in practice and it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, there were a couple of things. Fred Taylor comes in immediately and in the postgame goes, Anton Harrison didn't hold the backside block.
Yeah.
Like if he holds that block and the ball gets to ETN, then he's got room. Then the guy doesn't catch him from behind. Or maybe if I mean, it just seems like such a weird thing to throw it flat back across instead of, throw for like a 10-yard gain and try to catch him in motion.
I think the way he let the ball go and try to get it out a little earlier, he didn't allow the back to get downfield
get
at
up,
all.
right.
Yeah.
It-
And then
it
when he
did-
threw it, it stopped him.
It was so. I'm sure they're practicing that play.
Yeah.
Did they execute it? Look, do they practice the play where Zay Jones is open in the end zone and Trevor hits him for a touchdown? Because I'm sure they do, right? And he was open and he didn't hit him for the touchdown.
Yeah.
So do what you do well, right? That's great. That means just go play well, go execute. And they didn't execute. It's one thing to say just do what you do well. Well, you got to do it.
Yeah.
You can't just say it and sprinkle the dust and
talk
make it
about
happen, right?
You got to be about it.
Well,
I mean,
and I think,
everyone
Dave,
has something they think they do well.
Yeah, you can speak to this because you played, right? So you know what it was like to be in a locker room where this is who we are and this is what we're doing week to week right now. We got momentum about who we are, right? And we can believe in that. I think the Jags have a pretty good idea offensively in that room, what their identity is, what it should be. They're not executing.
Yeah, they're
right?
not.
Like on the field, they're just not executing whatever they feel like that is right now. I believe they can get to where they are, but they need to get to where that is now.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's so many expectations for this football team on that side of the ball. They have to be so much better executing on that side than they've been through the first couple of
And it
weeks.
starts with the offensive line. You know, the more you can give Trevor a little bit of time to help him feel more comfortable in that pocket, to get the ball out, to get the ball to those receivers, then we look much better as an offense.
I will say, in my opinion, I tell you what, I'll give you my opinion. Let's do today's 10-10 take, Dylan, if you would be so kind.
10-10 take. Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take. Brought to you by J&M Roofing Jacksonville, your storm restoration specialists.
I don't disagree. The offensive line obviously needs to play better, right? And look, for that matter, the defense, as well as they played, I wanted to see them hit the quarterback more as well. I still think they could have won that game if Trevor Lawrence had been on point yesterday.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
Even with the protection the way it was, it's not like he got sacked 14 times.
No.
He got sacked 4 times. They could have won that game if Trevor makes better decisions, but really just better throws.
Better throws.
And if you guys make a couple of key, plays in key moments, that game was there still to be won. Now, that doesn't mean you don't want the offensive line play to improve. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's going to be an issue, and it's going to put you in a position where you have to kind of play above the X's and O's every week, and that's not a long-term sustainable position. But I think this one to me was much more on Trevor Lawrence than anything. The offensive line, big contribution to this L, but Trevor was the main culprit.
And unfortunately, it started off that way. Like, it never felt like anybody was on track on offense. It's not like they came out and Trevor was just on point, and then all of a sudden he starts getting hit.
And they adjusted something.
No,
yeah.
They were flat from the very start.
All right, let's get a few. Look, most of the responses are along this line. Cristiano, happy for the defense, waiting for the offense to click and play at the same level. Another good showing by the defense. And Scott, lack of execution on offense. We had all those turnovers, said Spurville Deanster, and didn't get any TDs. Our defense played hard. Stupid-ass coaching from Odie. They won the turnover battle, won the penalty battle, still lost. Interior of the line continues to struggle. Need to figure out how to run it more effectively from Joshua there. Everyone hating on the game plan or play calling, but Ridley and Zay had 14 targets, had 2 catches. Take that away from Trevor's performance. He threw 73% to everyone else. Well, if those two caught 60% of the passes thrown, it's a different game. Maybe, but I didn't think there were a few that they could have caught.
Yes.
I don't think there were 60% of the passes that they were just flat out dropping in this game.
No, it didn't seem like they were just dropping passes left and right. They were dropping some passes, but not as many as you would think. A lot of passes were just not on point. Just like we've been saying, they just weren't on point. Trevor was off. The whole offense was off, period. Point blank.
Yeah, Irish diplomacy so freaking disappointing after a decade of this. I didn't expect to watch that with this offense ever. Second week in a row, Walker Little was our best player on the line because Chris Jones was on Anton Harrison the whole time. I'll say this. Baselli this morning, having rewatched it already, said again, Walker Little probably was the best offensive lineman, which here's the thing. Cam Robinson, get back. We need offensive line reinforcements, except at the position you play.
Yeah.
That's the one position we feel like is doing its job. So,
But we need him on the offensive line.
Well, we may need.
He's probably better than somebody that's playing.
Right. Well,
somewhere.
or do we just put Cam in there and say Walker Little go improve some other
somewhere?
Maybe it's
those
right
two
tackle.
guys it looks like need to play the way everyone else is playing.
Yeah,
right now.
put your best out there.
Here's one from Brandon: just throw the ball downfield. Well, if you have no time,
just do it.
You can't just do it. You can't take a 7-step drop and just throw that big bend to Calvin Ridley anytime you want.
We didn't see a bunch of guys wide open down the field and Trevor on his back. Maybe a few, but not just get back there and just let it go. You gotta be open down there. You gotta give him some confidence that you're gonna go down there and make a play for him.
Last one, red zone offense was trash. Offensive line was trash. Too much red in the stadium. That's, up to you guys. Wasted opportunity after opportunity. Gave the Chiefs a victory. This one's going to come back and bite us bad. Oh, and the defense was good. So there you go. And that's kind of how people feel like.
Pretty much.
It's bizarro world that we're living in.
Yeah.
Where the defense is showing up and giving them a chance to win every single week, and this offense cannot, at least this week, sustain and put up anything competitive. All right, let's say hello to XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Keeping the sports world spinning with wholesale prices and premium service. Tire Outlet, Jacksonville's largest locally owned automotive repair shop.
All right, Joe C is here. Joe, I really want this week to go by quickly. I really don't want to wallow in this one, but I feel like we're going to have to for a few days.
Yeah, I don't think you can help it because it was a great opportunity. It was one that you guys have all covered, and we will definitely cover. You had the atmosphere, and for Duval's part in this, yes, there was red in the stands, but that was a pretty loud house. And defensively, they did make some plays. Mahomes is just such a magician, man. He is just such a magician.
Honestly, the one that was the most mystifying is the one where he just threw. Who was the guy rushing off the edge when they're deep in their own territory, and he just kind of reached around him and threw it at somebody's ankle, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm just going to catch this because that's what I do because I expect Patrick Mahomes to throw it at my ankle."
I think
around
that was
someone's
one
body.
of Kelsey's 4.
Was that one of Kelsey's
I think it was
catches?
one of the 4. Yeah,
but it was just such a let me just do this plastic man
and
kind
even
of thing.
when Caleb had him wrapped up, he tried to give it to Donovan Smith again.
Yeah, Caleb had him wrapped up, and the fact that Mahomes thought he could make a play,
stupid play.
It was a really dumb
he
play.
should have been penalized by the Jaguars for trying it.
But
Right?
that's the thing.
Pitch it back to a lineman, kill somebody, get the ball back on the ground. We saw what that looked like last week.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe, hold the Chiefs to 17, win the turnover battle.
Yeah.
I mean, you got it at home. There's no Kelsey's quiet for the most part. There's no excuse. You have to win that football game.
And the bad thing is it was a 7-6 game, and they went right down the field and scored right at the beginning of the second half, and that was when.
Don't you feel like when they scored the first one, it kind of broke the mental seal? They got in there and they kind of exhaled, all right, we know what we're doing here. And I mean that decision to go for it on 4th and 5.
Yeah. And look, I'm sitting in the box, and I'm about to tweet punt, and I'm like, wait a minute, Doug's been successful, but I would have never wanted to give Mahomes half a field instead of a whole field.
We all sat there and were like, look, it's 3-0, man. If it's 21-20 and every possession is points, then you go for it.
Right.
It's 3-0. Give your defense a chance to close out the first half there.
And by the way, we went into this game thinking, okay, can you help buoy your defense and outscore that other team?
Correct.
And obviously,
that is the beauty of the NFL to some degree in sports, right? You think you have any idea, and then all of a sudden Arizona's beating that A, right? And you're like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah,
and then Daniel Jones brings them back.
Sammy Howell against Sean Payton. Go figure.
Go figure indeed. All right, Joe, what do you guys have coming up?
Definitely that. We'll spend the majority of XL Primetime on the Jags, but then also the Gators with a huge win over the Volunteers. FSU almost messed up against Boston College. Alabama, apparently there might have been a little bit of a revolt when it came to the quarterback decision. We're going to get into all that today.
All right, Joe, have a good show.
All right, fellas.
XL Primetime coming up. DG, what you got this week?
I'm going to work on getting the taste of this game out my mouth
Amen,
all week long.
Brother, it's hard work, so hopefully you've got enough time before next Monday. But let's reconvene for a victory Monday and be 2-0 in the division.
Of that.
At the very got to win this one.
Got to.
I have to win the Houston game, or else we're in for a long
won't be pretty
stretch here. A long trip to London with a pretty good Falcons team awaiting you, and then Buffalo seemingly riding the ship yesterday. All right, we'll worry about that down the road. Tomorrow's a Check the Tape Tuesday. We thank David Garrard. Of course, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark. Glad we could bring you some of the sounds of the Jags from after the game as well, and always appreciate your participation on a Reaction Monday. Jags fall, but hey, guess what? They're still in first place in the AFC South. So, right, big picture, there's still a lot out there, 15 games to go. Nobody's writing off the season. Just disappointed with the way that this one went. David Garrard's packing up the pork rinds and heading out of the building. And there he goes. That'll do it for us today. We'll be back with more Jaguars Today tomorrow from 10 to noon on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks.